Hello, everyone. Bill Apter, not in Apter's Alley, just in another place in my son's old room. And he lives in Georgia now. He's not in Pennsylvania. And speaking about Georgia, Mac Davis from Georgia. Welcome
I'm
back
from
to
Georgia,
Mac
just
and Me.
son.
Yeah, well, it's good. Well, it's good to see you, and I love your banana outfit there.
Yeah, this is actually my orange shirt. It's a tribute to Taz. I want to do this too here. Put on
Who?
my Taz glasses and my Taz orange.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. It looks yellow from here, so that's why I called it a banana suit. So it's really it's great to be back with you here. Somebody's texting me while we're talking. Um, the reason I wanted to bring you on this particular edition is that you and I are very passionate about several things in the wrestling business, but one in particular. And I'm going to preface this is that yes, I'm old school, but I'm also new school. I get what the business is today.
Yeah.
Last week I was watching The Dark Side of Wrestling, and I really liked that show. And they had this segment on that I did some talking about Herb Abrams, the promoter. And on that show was Eddie Mansfield, who Eddie was a friend of mine. I mean, personally, I knew him very well, but he went on and exposed the business ages ago. And I always felt like everyone in the business, and Jim Cornette made it very clear on the show, and so did Dutch Mantel, that he exposed the business. He gave the tricks of the trade away. Okay, so I saw that. A couple of nights later, I'm watching for the first time the show Billions, because I heard that the man, Becky Lynch, was going to be on there. And I couldn't wait to see Becky. Becky's one of the best in-ring performers, both physically and on promos that I've ever seen. She's great. And then when I saw her do her acting bit, it was scripted, but the script that they gave her exposed the entire business. And it was just so close to the whole bringing back the Eddie Mansfield thing. I was like, pardon my, what the hell? I mean, what is going on here? Yes, fans know now how the business works, but to blatantly come out on this Billion show following a script, again, I understand that, and just confirm to the world that, sometimes I have to do a job to make somebody else look better. And it's like your business there. So breaking kayfabe, just give me something.
Bill, I'll be honest with you. You know how I feel about this, and kayfabe to me is so important, and I still believe it's important to the business today. Even though people say it's dead, I don't believe it's dead. I believe it's only dead if we allow it to be that way. And as performers, I think we need to be careful about showing the secrets, showing behind the scenes too much. Let's be honest. At one time when you and I were younger, magicians were a big thing. We loved
Yeah.
watching magic and all the magic tricks. But then when somebody came on and said, here's how you do this trick, that trick didn't mean as much anymore. And our profession is taking that same route by continuing to divulge the secrets and to show behind the
Go
scenes.
behind the
I
curtain.
don't believe fans really want to know what's happening behind the scenes. There's a small amount that do, but the majority of fans, I believe, really want to be entertained and shown and be able to suspend belief for just a little while to enjoy what they see.
So that brings me to the point where, and you and I have talked about this before, WWE and their superstars don't hide any of this. And Vince
Right.
McMahon said way back when he made it into sports entertainment, that I certainly don't want to insult the intelligence of our viewers, so I must, tell you what this is all about. Um, but on the other hand,
That's
what
funny to me, Bill, because when Vince McMahon says something like he doesn't want to insult the intelligence of his fans, so he's going to tell them that behind the scenes that this is not real, That to me is crazy, because this is the same man who insults the intelligence of a lot of people from time to time, just on storylines from WWE. I think protecting the business should always be there, even though the cat's out of the bag. I think the cat should be put back in the bag to a point to where we continue to have the illusion of what we watch.
So that brings me to the point of WWE. We're talking about AEW has their entertainment and their wrestling in there, NWA Power. They all do, but it brings me to the point where when I travel to independent shows, whether it be here in Philly or in New York or in Georgia or the Carolinas or in Texas, there are groups of independent fans that don't pay attention to that message that this is scripted. You go to an indie show and the people are really in it. You know, when I was a kid and a bad guy would come through the audience, we would be like, we're afraid of them. Now in the big shows, you know, people are like, ha ha ha, you know, but in the indies, that doesn't really hold true. It's the old school
No, and
still.
you know as well as I do that I spent time in the Indies and still do. And the fans at an independent show, and I'm glad you brought this up, because independent wrestling does have one thing that the TV wrestling doesn't, and that is the reality of the old school wrestling. It's still there. The fans still believe. Maybe not all of them, but you still have those the older fans who are in the audience who are still, look. I've had drinks thrown on me, not because they were having fun, because they hated me.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's what it should be. That's what wrestling is. I knew full well that I was going to be yelled at, screamed at, things thrown at me if I were a heel. I knew that I'd have people pat me on the back if I was a good guy.
Yeah.
They want to believe, so quit telling them not to believe.
Yeah, one of the things that, and this is really well done, the miniseries documentary that the WWE Network is doing with The Undertaker. I have two or three friends who agree with me. They're fans that they've kind of taken, you know, The Undertaker should just be The Undertaker. When they started talking in the ring about, you know, when AJ Styles was talking to him and calling him Mark and talking about AJ's family and his wife, I didn't want to know any of that as a wrestling fan. I just wanted The Undertaker to be The Undertaker. But this documentary goes under The Undertaker and shows that he's a normal human being like you and me. Well, at least like you. So,
Well, that was something that WWE and the Undertaker really worked hard at keeping that way. That he had that mystique for all these years, and to suddenly cash in on the Undertaker and take that mystique away,
yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that too much.
So let's leave it to you fans now, okay? Because I watch everything. And I know, again, what the business is about. We all know what the business is about. But do you wish you could still watch it as you did when you were growing up? Because even back in the days when you were a Hulkamaniac, you did, you know, your parents might have said, hey, that stuff is all fake, which it's not. Um, but do you want to believe again? Has taken the blowing the lid off pro wrestling hurt it for you? Yeah, please let
It
us know.
has to me.
Yeah, yeah, it has to me in a lot of ways too, because I sit there and I still try to believe. Mac Davis, thank you so very much. And by the way, give us a quick rundown of what's happening with your great show promo time.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you mentioned that. Promo Time is a fantastic show, and this show is designed for the independent wrestler. We were just talking about that. This show gives independent wrestlers and fans a chance to cut a promo, 2 minutes or less. It can be anything. Have fun. It can be funny. It could be serious. Whatever you want to do. But the grand prize winner will win a custom-made title belt, and that's coming in, I believe, Friday, coming in a few days, I believe.
Yeah,
So we'll
you
have it
show it to
on the
us so
show
we can get
soon.
a handle on it. Sure, sure. And unfortunately, you have that little line, that employees and close friends of Promo Time cannot, because I'd love that belt, to add it to the cow belt. Mac Davis, thank you so very much. I'm sorry.
Let me mention this. Let me mention the email address. If you want to
Please.
send in your promos, do it soon because the May episode is about to get put together, and we need your film in. If you want it before then, the email address is wrestlingpromotime@gmail.com. And
All
I
right.
look forward to seeing what you got.
All right. And I look forward to seeing you out of quarantine eventually.
I hope so.
Bill
And
Apter and Mac Davis. And we will stop recording as soon as I can find the button. I have to say, see you eventually at the matches.